Really, good morning and good morning to your listeners. I get criticized every now and then, but I take serious issue and offense when somebody tries to buy cheap political points using my name. I take serious offense with regard to that. A lot of times people write very negative tweets about me, people that follow me, and I don't even respond. The response, when you read, I got calls on Sunday about this article, and I read it yesterday morning, and I was highly offended because there's a tendency in this country where people address social issues, and instead of playing the ball, they play the man. Musi made some insinuations about me not being a role model. In the first place, I never stood on top of a tower and say I want to be a role model. If you want to be a role model, be a role model to your children. And there are people who see me as their role model, and I'm really honored by that. So it was a response that was aimed at being on Twitter. Unfortunately, the media took notice of it, and a lot of people blew it
Kenny, come on. You can't put something on Twitter and say, unfortunately, the media took notice. Of course we will. If you put something on social media, it's there for the whole world to see.
Yes, but at the end of the day, I have put a lot of tweets on my wall, and the media did not take notice of them. The point here is that here's the spokesperson of the DA, and people are taking offense. So I felt that at that particular time, I felt that I had to also respond with the harshness that I felt about his article. And he is now using Kunene as a platform to kind of elevate his status and become this speaker about social issues. That is my problem. If you are focused, if you're a politician, focus on politics, focus on your constituencies.
When you post such outrageous things, you want people to come and soothe you and hug you and say, Kweni ngwanaka. Why can't Musi be robust and says you are a bad role model and you must handle it?
He must do it, but let him not do it when he wants to climb a ladder to premiership.
But I want us to focus on you as well and the things you say.
Let him be consistent.
Okay.
If he has done it with his people, then he can do it with me. So I'm saying to you, if debate is sparked in a way that is meant to achieve enlightenment and education and whatever, I don't have a problem. But don't use me when you are busy with your political standing to then use me as a tool. I'm not a political tool.
Musi, good morning to you and welcome.
Dumela Ridi, and good morning to all your listeners of 702.
All right. Do you still stand by what you said in the Sunday World?
Really, this is exactly the point that I wanted to make. The point simply is we need to have a discourse in society about values, about what kind of society we want to see, how do we want to deal with women, how do we want to relate to them. That's been the central argument that I've been putting forward. And I've argued the case that we need role models who will talk into those values. That was the central point I was trying to make in the piece. It wasn't even a personal attack on Kenny. And I wrote fundamentally as a father of a young girl, not even as the national spokesperson of the DA. I wrote because I wanted for South Africans to understand the fact that we need to have a discourse about this in order that collectively we can say to ourselves, these are the source of values we want to put forward, and this is the sort of society we want to live in. But I think what happened subsequent to that is that the tweet that came from Kenny Kunene confirmed the point I was really trying to make, that this is the problem.
What do you think, why do you say Kenny's not a good role model and anyone else who lives this lifestyle? What is it about him that concerns you as a father of a little girl?
Well, really, that is exactly it. That first of all, we're dealing with an environment where violence against women takes place. Kenny had confirmed on a number of different interviews that in fact he had sex with multiple women and some of them were underage. That furthermore, that this idea of opulence, and in fact I said in the article that I celebrate self-made millionaires. In fact, I complimented him on that score. And then I asked the question that in a world where so many are poor, can we be entitled really to be displaying wealth and opulence in the way that we are? Furthermore, I contrasted that with the fact that is Kotan, which are young people who tear away their clothes and burn them. Are those the values we want to see modeled and publicized on our national television and our radio station? And that was indeed my questions about what Kenny stood for. And I said to myself, what I'd anticipated is for him to put forward an argument that defends his lifestyle, not attack me and threaten my wife, who, by the way, has been in the most crudest and the most vulgar language and incensed by the way Kenny used language against her.
Kenny says you're using him as a cheap political ploy or toy, and you want to score points using his name. What's your reaction?
My reaction to that is that it's unfortunate that he can't put forward an argument that speaks fundamentally about why the values that he seems to be promoting out there of multiple girlfriends, multiple wives, if he wanted to speak into that space, he should be able to do so. But what is sad is that when you talk about cheap political point scoring, he's asked me a question about why I haven't spoken about other issues. The fact of the matter is that he compliments Helen Zille for having spoken about it. Why should I then furthermore add to the same discourse while it's already been taking place? This has got nothing to do with political point scoring. It's got everything to do with the fact that we must as a society talk about what role models we have.
Eyewitness News, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi.